And six-time All-Star himself, John Smoltz. John, thanks for joining us. I want to talk about your time at the All-Star Game. 6 All-Star Games, as I mentioned. The mindset for Paul Skenes. Here's who he's facing in the lineup. Gleyber Torres, Riley Green, Aaron Judge if it goes smoothly, and if he gives up a hit or something, you got Cal Raleigh at 4. So what do you think in the All-Star Game? You're not going 7 innings. You're only going to go 1 or 2. Are you giving it all? Are you trying to balance it? What are you thinking if you were on the mound tonight against that lineup?
Well, the biggest thing is you're trying not to get embarrassed because you got a great lineup you're going to face. I always felt like, man, I want to face all 9 of these guys. I want to see what it's like. And we were afforded to play, at least 2 innings. I don't know that Skenes will go 2, but what you're trying to do is control the RPMs. What I mean by that is the adrenaline rush is so incredible, and these guys already throw way too hard that you just try to stay away from overthrowing and getting out of your mechanics to try and impress or strike out. And I think the biggest thing is you got to realize these guys don't want to get deep in the count too. So I ran through all the stop signs that were given to me the first time I went in the All-Star Game. I had all this advice, and I forgot it all. And then after that, it settled in, and you get used to it. But I think the beginning of anybody's first kind of hyped-up showdown, you got to make sure you control the RPMs. That is something that a regular season game does not provide.
Nice.
John, you said, I believe it was yesterday, that if all Shohei Ohtani did was pitch, he'd be the best pitcher in baseball. So I want to ask, it might sound a little convoluted, but I want to ask, as long as he's hitting, what percent of his potential as a pitcher can he reach? Is he going to be at 70%, 75% of what he could be if all he was doing was pitching? And can you take us into what he's missing because he's hitting that all the other pitchers are getting? What is he losing out on? So,
it's a great question.
Well, he doesn't have the luxury of he can't waste any moment. He's got a lot of energy he puts in every single day. And as a starting pitcher, those 4 days in between, you got some work to do, but you rest for that 5th day. You're geared up. You're fresh. Your chances of being successful once every 5 days go way up when you don't have a lot of other things you got to do. Take batting practice, go over scouting reports, hit, foul one off your foot, off your knee. There's a lot of things that get you banged up as an everyday player that wear you out. He's an amazing, freakish athlete, and people don't understand what takes away from his ability to be a freakish pitcher. And so we're never going to see anything like this again, and we're never going to get a chance to see what I've just said, but I think it takes away a big percentage of his greatness because every day, look, he can't afford, let's say he's slumping at the plate, he can't bring it to the mound, or let's say he's not pitching well at the mound, he can't bring it to the plate. He's thinking about something, has programmed his mind and body to do something every single day that is not just for one trick. He's a 2-trick pony that he does it at elite level.
Wow. John, I'm a Cubs fan. We've talked Cubs before, and Pete Crow Armstrong will be the starting center fielder for the National League, and he's got the stolen bases, he's got the home runs, but he's also one of the best defensive center fielders that I've ever seen. And you played with a pretty good one. Does PCA have an argument to be the best defensive center fielder since your guy Andrew Jones?
He's got an argument, and look, he doesn't play in a center. If he doesn't play in a center field, where he can showcase that, right? His home ballpark, it's a little bit more dangerous to go into a brick wall, but to cover that territory, he's got to deal with the wind. And I think, first of all, I can't believe the combination of power and speed. I just had no clue that was going to be part of his game. Defensively, he does magical stuff. He's going to take away a lot of what the hitters hope to get in Wrigley, especially when the wind is blowing in. A very difficult scenario for a center fielder. But, yeah, he's getting close to that Andrew Jones conversation. Andrew's by far the best I've ever seen, and I'm a little bit biased because he impacted me in such an incredible way, being right behind me. Any ball that went up in the air, he caught.
John, what do you make of this Ben Mizorowski situation? 5 games, only has pitched 25 innings, but those 25 innings he's been dominant. So I know the Phillies were fired up, so it's not enough, but he does seem to be one of the best pitchers in baseball. Where do you stand on his All-Star nod?
Yeah, it's not his fault. They put him in a really bad situation. A lot of contributing factors. Players opting out, that's a contributing factor. When you have 6 pitchers that don't want to pitch, for a variety of reasons, and you got to take them at their face value for why they have a variety of reasons. It's a difficult situation to put him in only facing 5 games. You know, there are other players that pitched all year that probably are worthy of it. We're always going to have discussions, but there's not just one blame to be put here. It's a tough scenario for this young man to be put in this situation because of what I just said. And players, you know, are opting out for a lot of reasons. Look, we have an injury problem in the game, and there's always going to default back to the injury of pitchers, which we've never addressed and really fully comprehend on how we can take pitchers to another level. So when pitchers on Friday decide they're not going to play when they have ample time to pitch, it puts him in the mix, and why we're having this conversation. I think it's unfortunate for him, but needless to say, he's got a tremendous talent. Is 5 games worthy? Probably not, but he's got something a lot of people are going to want to see.
Can I ask a follow-up, Brew? Garrett Crochet opted also not to pitch. I don't know if that's one of the people that you're referencing in a different situation, but do you have a solution to the injury problem that you want to touch on? Can you solve all of baseball's injuries in about 30 seconds?
Yeah, good question.
I mean, there's not enough time, but absolutely we can. It's an industry issue that they have to address, and we have to. It's a reward system. I mean, it's not the player's fault. They're getting paid and rewarded to do something that physically cannot be done long term. It just, I'm blown away that we've been talking about this, or at least I have, for 10 years, and nothing's changed. And they just kind of turn the page, turn their head, next guy up. I just don't like seeing guys' careers cut in half, even though they're handsomely paid and they're getting a huge contract. I like to see guys fulfill their dreams and pitch a lot longer, and see these guys do the job that has been there for a long time in the history of the game. We've gotten smarter, but somehow we've gotten dumber when it comes to preventing injuries. And maybe there's just there's not an urgency to fix that. But I think there are ways. And I think, to answer your earlier question, from an all-star standpoint and people opting out, I'd love to see the game shut down for a week. I'd love to see the guys who are going to be all-stars, give them as much of a break as the guys that aren't. And I think we can do that. I think we can honestly own the week of baseball during the middle of the season and promote this great game and give guys the rest they needed, and really take an awesome look at what all the season that up until this point has taken place, and give those all-stars that same break, because that's part of the equation as well.
Tonight, John, we've got the robot umpire in a challenge system. What are your thoughts on that?
As long as it's a challenge system, I love it. I don't think we can go full-time. This will be impossible to hit if we go full-time. They'd have to change the strike zone. When you think about other sports like tennis and the ball hitting the line, we get to see that, and everybody is okay with it. I know the strike zone is shown on TV, and there's, you know, with the velocity and spin, it's impossible to be 100%. But I also tell you right now that if you think hitting's tough now, get that permanently in the game, and hitters will be, it just doesn't work. There's too much velocity and spin from pitchers. So challenge system, I love it. Be careful who's going to be the one challenging. I always say don't trust the pitcher. I'm a former pitcher, and my view was always the right one until I checked the video and I realized I don't think quite what was a strike. And what I'm excited about besides this too is we're going back to wearing your uniform. Amen. I want to see guys representing their team.
Agree.
I don't want to see these uniforms that somebody created with some kind of, I don't know. I just am glad that they're going to see the uniforms in the game, a throwback, and I love it.
I want to follow up on the robot. As a fan, I get frustrated sometimes when different umpires have their own strike zones. And, you know, that's why I kind of like the idea of, look, we just have the standard strike zone. And as a pitcher, what was that like for you when, you know, different guys had different strike zones?
Well, and it's a little bit different, right? We had a different reward system. We were taught to command more than to just let it eat. The guys that don't have the command are going to struggle no matter what the strike zone is. But when you learned a particular strike zone, you had the leverage of being able to expose it. And if you didn't, then you were going to struggle in the game. So I always knew where a guy's strike zone, where the inch or two I could go to. But the key is you got to be there all the time to put that pressure on making that call. And with the automatic strike zone, what's going to happen, and ultimately they would have to lower the strike zone. You cannot hit 98, 99 at the top of the zone. Imagine the baseball width and circumference hitting 1/100th of an inch of that line that's going to be a strike, and then have a breaking ball come down and do the same thing. It would be almost impossible, some of these elite guys already at elite level, to try to hit. So that's why the danger of the strike zone of being automated is enticing, because it is what we see, but it would really radically change how we hit. So if they don't lower the strike zone to give hitters a chance at velocity down, because they have no chance at the velocity up.
That's interesting.
John, do you think Cal Raleigh is going to get to 62 and break Judge's record?
My goodness. I mean, what an incredible first half, career high already. I believe that in his position, depending on how much he catches versus DH, I think he's on such a roll. I hope he flirts with it. That would be one of the most epic. I just can't believe a catcher can do this, right? This is incredible what he's done. The position he plays is demanding so much. And the year he's having, boy, oh boy, I hope he still connects. He went on and won the home run derby, which is a rarity, never happened before. I'm rooting for him. I think that would be an incredible story.
He's got an incredible nickname, the Big Dumper.
Okay. Yeah.
Best nickname.
Doesn't get better than that.
Who's the best nickname you ever had? Your teammate, great nickname?
The crime dog comes right
Crime
away with
dog.
the
I
Fred
love the
Griff.
crime dog.
That was.
Yeah.
His video, the press box catching on fire, his laugh, his unassuming personality, the crime dog is pretty good.
Shout out to the crime dog.
Yeah, it's no Big Dumper,
Hard
though.
to beat.
I like the crime dog.
Yeah, the crime dog's
I
pretty
like
good.
the crime dog.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
I like the hitman, Don Mattingly. John, thank you as always. We'll see you tonight. Coverage at 7 o'clock on Fox. Enjoy the All-Star Game.
My pleasure. Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
First
John.
things first after the break.